Hello, my dear students. I hope you all have been doing well. Today we are going to start our new topic, and this is about structure activity relationship. This is my lecture number 7, and in this lecture we are going to study about what are structure activity relationship and how these structure activity relationship affect on the biological activity of compound. So first question is this: what is the structure activity relationship? Structure activity relationship actually is the relation between the structure of a compound with its biological activity, or it is the impact of the structure of the compound on its biological activities. So if we are having a compound and we make its another analog. An analog is a derivative of the parent compound. Means if you are having drug or a molecule or a compound and it is having some structure, but for example it is having a phenyl group, or it is having an um, um, it is having another functional group. For example, it is having carboxylic group, and you are removing this carboxylic group and adding another group, for example amine group. So what will happen, the activity of the biological activity of the molecule get change with the substitution of another group, or due to the replacement of the pre, carboxylic group to the with the amine group. So what is the structure activity relationship? Structure activity relationship is the study of the study. What study? This study tell us how the biological activities of a compound get influenced by the changes in the structure of the compound. So and how this structure activity uh, uh, relationship study is carried out, means how we study this structure activity relationship by making the changes in the lead compound. So what we do in this to study the structure activity relationship, we do the changes in the parent compound, that is the lead compound, and as we make the changes in the compound, so and we will get the new compound, and then we assess the biological activity of the new compound, and that we synthesize from the lead compound. So we study its biological activities, and there are various assays that are available to study the biological activity of compound. So how we study the structure activity relationship of a compound, and how we means assess the uh, changes in the biological activities of a compound. We use different biological assays. Here I am giving you an example. If we are having um, an anti-cancer compound, for example, if we are having um, well-known anti-cancer drug, that is dacarbazine, and it is a synthetic anti-cancer drug, and it is if we are making changes in this drug in its structure, so what will happen, we will be having a new compound. Dacarbazine is an anti-cancer compound, and if we will make the changes in this structure, for example, if we are removing any functional group in this compound, and we are getting new compound, that is the analog. So what we do, we will perform some anti-cancer assays or some cytotoxicities assays that will tell us about how much the drug is cytotoxic, or how much the drug is anti-cancer. So what we do for to study the structure activity relationship, we perform, first we do the changes in the compound, in the parent compound, that is the lead compound, and first we do the changes in this lead compound, and after making the changes, we perform different activity assay, biological activities assays or biological activities experiments. For example, cytotoxicity assay for anti to find out the anti-cancer activity, and for example, an anti-migration assay to find out the metastatic activity of the compound. Uh, for example, the proliferation assay to find out the anti-proliferative activity of the compound. So these different assays, biological activities assays, tell us about the uh, um, influence of the changes on the structure of the compound. Uh, how we study the structure activities relationship? We study the structure activity relationship by changing the structure of the compound and then performing the activity assay of this uh, changed compound, that is the analog of the lead compound. So how now question is this: how we can make how the changes in the compound uh, that we are going to make in the structure of a compound classified. So we classified these changes in the compound on the basis of the size and the shape of the carbon skeleton, on the nature and the degree of substitution, and on the stereochemistry of the lead compound. These are the changes that we can make. The changes in the lead compound can we can make the changes in the lead compound on the basis of the size and shape of the carbon skeleton, on the basis of the nature and the degree of substitution, and on the basis of stereochemistry of the lead compound. And what is the selection criteria? Means if we wish to make changes in the parent compound or the lead compound, so what will be the basis uh, to make these changes that we wish to make in our compound, in our lead compound? So the changes in our lead compound based on the activities of similar structure, on the chemistry of the intended analog, and biochemistry of the intended analog. Means if we wish to make any change in the lead compound, so what we have to consider, we have to consider the chemistry of the intended analog. Means the analog that we wish to obtain, the new analog that we wish to obtain. We should know the chemistry of that. Means we should have to consider the chemistry of this lead analog, this intended analog, and the biochemistry of the intended analog, and the structure and the activities of the similar structure that is previously present. Means that is previously synthesized, uh, or we can say the activity, what are the activities of the parent molecule. So you have to clear in your mind, we are having um, a compound that is a lead compound, and if this lead compound is having a structure, for example, if we are having a molecule having anti-cancer activity, or if we are having a compound that is an anti-cancer compound. For example, I am taking here example of a dacarbazine. It is a anti-cancer drug. So this drug is having a structure. So, and this is well known anti-cancer drug. So I will say this drug as a parent molecule or a lead compound. But if I am taking this parent molecule or lead compound, that is a dacarbazine, and I I wish to make some changes in this lead compound. So after the changes, the compound that I will be having, I will tell this compound as an analog. Okay, so the if we wish to make the changes in the parent compound or lead compound, so we should have to consider, or we should have to know about the activities of the previous compound or activities of the lead compound. So in this case that I am explaining you, the dacarbazine is the lead compound, or so we should have to consider that what are the activities of this lead compound, that is the dacarbazine. So the dacarbazine is an anti-cancer drug. So we have to know about the activity of the lead compound, or if we are having a compound and we have to make these changes in the compound. So if we will we are not known that what are the activity of the lead compound. So first we should have to perform the biological activity assay and find out that the compound is having what type of activities. And when we know that that compound is anti-cancer, so then accordingly we will make the changes in the compound that will enhance the anti-cancer activity. For example, if we wish, if we find the compound is an anti-cancer compound, so we will make changes accordingly that maybe enhance the anti-cancer activity. Or if the compound is having some cytotoxic, means some undesirable side effect, so we will make the changes in the compound by which we can suppress the undesirable effect. So what the criteria to make the changes in the lead compound to study structure activity relationship, the criteria based on the activities of the similar structure. For example, what is the similar structure? The previously known structure or previously uh, um, or the lead compound, structure of the lead compound, and the what type of chemistry we will be having, if we will be having a new analog or intended analog, or what type of the biochemistry we will be having if we will be having a new analog. So, oh my god, it is so now. Yeah, this was the selection criteria, and then we will study that how we can make changes in this structure. Now we will study how we can make these changes in this structure. So we can make the changes in the lead compound by changing its size and shape, or how we can change the size and shape of a molecule, of a lead molecule. We can change the size and shape of a lead molecule by changing the number of methylene group in the chain and the ring. For example, if we are having a compound and we wish to make some changes in the compound, so how we can make the changes in the compound? We can either change its shape or change its size. How we can make changes in the size and shape? We can change the size and shape by changing the number of the methylene group in the ring or in the side chain. Or we can change the size and shape of a molecule by increasing or decreasing the degree of unsaturation. Or we can make these changes in the size and shape of a molecule by introducing or removing a ring system. So one by one we study that how we can change the size and shape of a molecule, and what how this changes in the size and shape effects on the biological activities of a molecule. So here we are taking example of chloropromazine and chlorpheniramine. Here, chloropromazine is an antipsychotic drug, and it is having a sulfur atom in its ring structure. And however, the clomipheniramine, it's an antidepressant drug, and it is also having a ring structure, but it is not having a sulfur atom in its ring. So what happened here means will be having an uh, antipsychotic drug, that is chloropromazine. So what we did with this drug, we replaced this sulfur atom by the methylene group, that is here is CH2 CH2. So by the changing of this sulfur atom to the methylene group in this ring, what happened? This structure changed its antipsychotic activity to the antidepressant activity. So, we are having this drug with the clopramine with the antidepressant activity, and this is the analog of this lead compound. So you understanding what I am explaining, that how we can get a new analog of the lead compound with different biological activity. So how we can do this? We can change. First procedure is that we can make changes by changing the shape and the size of the parent molecule or the lead molecule. And how we can make the changes in the shape and size? We can either change the number of methylene group in the ring or the chain. For example, if we are having a drug that is a ring is structure, as we are having here, it is an antipsychotic drug and its structure is a ring structure, not the open chain structure. This drug is a ring structure drug. So we are having this antipsychotic drug, and in its ring it is having a sulfur atom. So what we will do, if we will replace this sulfur atom with the methylene group. So you can see here this ring is somewhat bigger than this type of ring, and this ring means this analog that we synthesize by the replacement of this sulfur atom to the methylene group at the parent compound. So this analog is having different biological activity from the lead compound. So one example is here this, and here another example, how why it could be happen that when we make the changes in the structure of the compound, why it could happen that the biological activity of the compound get changed. For example, here as we see that we make change in the ring of the compound of an antipsychotic compound. So it change its biological activity, means it turns from antipsychotic to antidepressant compound. So why? Now I am going to explain why it could happen that by changing in the structure of a compound, the biological activities of a compound get changed. So here we are taking an example of antibacterial drug. This is a drug that is ring structure, having a ring structure, and it is an antibacterial drug. And if we will be having here a methylene group, if we will increase the number of methylene group, for example, here is written CH2N. N means any number. So if we will, it may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we are, I am saying that this compound here is having N is equals to 6, means 6 methylene group. So what will be happen after addition of this methyl group, or after increasing the number of the methyl group in this antibacterial compound? It will increase the the addition of methylene group in this compound will increase the lipophilicity of this compound. So what is the lipophilicity? Lipophilicity, what is the it means? What is this? It is the ability of a compound to dissolve in the cell membrane. So if the compound is having high number of methylene group, it will be easily dissolve in the or penetrate in the lipid membrane, cell membrane that is made up of lipid, and if it will be easily penetrate from the cell membrane. So what will happen? It will be easily reaches to the inside the cell, inside the cytoplasm of the cell, to the target site. So this is the means basis, or this is the reason why changing the number of the methylene group, or by the changes of the in the structure of the compound, why the biological activity get changed. So this is the one example how the uh, methylene group addition changes the means activity of a compound, means increases the activity of a compound. So if it is the antibacterial compound, we are adding methylene group, increasing the number of methylene group. So the antibacterial activity of the compound is getting increased. Why it is getting increased? Because by the addition of the methylene, by the addition of the by the addition of by increasing the number of the methylene group, uh, the compound is increasing its lipophilicity, uh, it is increasing its penetration in the cell membrane, so the more drug will be reaches to the cytoplasm and to the target site. But it may be possible that by increasing the methylene group, by increasing the lipophilicity, and by increasing the penetration, due to the increasing of the methylene group, we will get the decreased activity of compound. So how it could be happen? Because sometimes the compound is not lipid soluble, means sometimes the compound is not distributed in the uh, it is not easily dissolved in the lipid media. It should it should be it need aqueous media to dissolve or to distribute. So in such case, if we are having a compound that needs aqueous media for its distribution, but we are we are adding methylene group in this structure to increase and increasing the lipid character, so it will be the difficult of it will be the difficult for that compound that is not dissolved in that needs aqueous media to dissolve. So we should have, because of this thing, we should have to first keep an eye on the character of a molecule, or on the nature of a molecule before making any changes in a molecule. For example, if we are going to make any changes in an anti-cancer compound, and we wish to enhance its anti-cancer activity, we should know about its solubility and its other chemistry or biochemistry of the compound, or the activity of the similar compound. So now we will see that how we can change the size and the shape of the compound by increasing or decreasing the degree of unsaturation. Now we will see that how we can change the shape and size of a compound by increasing or decreasing the degree of unsaturation, or how we can change the biological activity of a compound by changing its size and shape, by changing the unsaturation, by changing the degree of unsaturation of compound. So first of all, we have to understand that what is this unsaturation. You know that saturated compound are not having any double bond, because the all valencies of a carbon atom occupied by other atom, and the unsaturated compound are having double bond. So if we are having a lead compound and it is not having any double bond, so what will happen? The compound will be less flexible. Compound will be more flexible. So remember this thing, that whenever you will be having double bond in any structure or any compound, this double bond give structure rigidity. Means due to the presence of the double bond, compound will be more rigid as compared to the compound that is having single bond. So if we will be having a compound that is having a double bond, so compound will be more rigid. So due to this more rigidity, the sometime compound will not be fit in the active site of the enzyme if it is an enzyme inhibitor, or if we will be having an example of a ligand. For example, we are having an example of neurotransmitter dopamine. You know the structure of a dopamine. If we will be having double bond in the structure of the dopamine, so the uh, the structure will be more rigid, so it will be difficult to fit in the active site of the receptor, dopamine receptor. So what we have to do, we have to synthesize another compound or another analog of the dopamine, that is a parent compound, in such a way so the our analog will not be having any double bond. So what will happen if we will be having a compound that will not be having any double bond in the structure, so the analog will be having more flexibility. So due to this flexibility, the compound will be easily fit in the active site of the receptor or the active site. If it is the enzyme inhibitor, so the compound will be easily fit in the active site of the enzyme and perform its activity. But means each changes that we make in the structure is having uh, some uh, drawbacks or some advantages. So if we are introducing a double bond in the in a compound that is having single bond, so what will happen? This double bond make compound more rigid, so the compound will not be fit in the active site of the compound and loss will not perform its activity. Or it may be happen that introduction of the double bond may change the stereochemistry of a compound, and it may be possible that introduction of the double bond or the means unsaturated structure in the parent compound, this addition of the double bond change the potency of the compound. So here we are taking an example. For example, we are having a compound that is cortisol. So um, this is a cortisol that is having only one double bond, and this is a lead compound. This is our example, that is a lead compound. We are having a lead compound that's name is cortisol, and we can see here it is having only one double bond. So and it is uh, it is less potent, and we know it bec- uh, that this cortisol is less potent because we have performed its biological activity, and we know that it is a cortisol, and it is having not good activity. So what we have to do, what we wish to make a compound that is having more potent activity, and if we add in that compound one more double bond, what will happen? Although this structure get more rigid, but it will be having more potent activity. So the addition of the double bond or addition of the rigid structure in the parent compound will change its biology can change its biological activity, or can make a less potent compound into more can convert a less potent compound into more potent compound. So, and you also have to keep in your mind that whenever we will be making any change in the lead compound, this is the lead compound, we are making changes. What changes we are making? We are adding a double bond in the lead compound. So the making the changes in the lead compound change the structure of the lead compound, uh, uh, and the compound that we get, we will say it analog. So this pyridoxine is the analog of this lead compound, that is cortisol, and always or mostly the analog that we are getting from the parent compound gets having different biological activity. And here we are taking an example of an antipsychotic drug, that is phenothiazine. So this drug is having a sulfur atom in this structure. So when we replace this sulfur atom by the methylene group, so what happened? We are having here a double bond. So what will happen? This elite compound gets changed its biological activity from antipsychotic activity to antidepressant activity. So this is the outcome of the addition of the double bond in the chain or in the ring of a lead compound. Now we will see that how we can change the shape and size of a molecule by introduction or removing a ring system. So we can also change the biological activity of a compound by introducing or removing a ring system. So here we are taking an example of butyrolactam, and we can see there this is a lead compound, and if we introduce a ring in this butyrolactam, this ring is a cyclopentyl group. If this we add this cyclopentyl group, that is a ring in this butyrolactam, so we get an analog of this parent compound, and this analog is 10 times more active than this butyrolactam. So how it could be happen? Because the introduction of this ring system in this lead compound, what happened? We can see there that this analog is having larger size as compared to this parent molecule. So due to this larger size, this now this analog is easily fit in the active site of this enzyme, and because of the easily or completely fit, and because of the easily and completely fitting of this compound, what happened? The enzyme easily catalyze. Uh, this compound is easily produce its effect. So now we will see that what uh, type of group we can add in the structure of the molecule, and we can change the structure by adding the different substituent. How we can make the changes in the structure of a parent molecule by adding the different substituent, and how these addition of different functional group effect on the biological activity of the compound. So by the adding of the methyl group in the parent molecule, we can increase the lipophilicity of the molecule, and by addition of the halogen atom in the parent molecule, we can also increase the lipophilicity of the parent molecule, and by the addition of the hydroxyl group in the parent molecule, we can increase the hydrophobicity of the molecule, and by addition of the basic group in the parent molecule, we can lower the lipophilicity of the molecule, or the our analog, and the addition of sulfonic acid group do not usually have any effect on the biological activity but will increase the rate of excretion of an analog. And what happen if we will substitute thiol sulfides and other sulfur group in the parent molecule. The thiol and sulfide group are not usually introduced into the lead in structure activity relationship with studies because they are readily metabolized by the oxidation. And however, thiol are sometimes introduced into a lead structure when improved metal chelation is the object of the structure activity relationship studies. For example, the antihypertensive captopril was developed from the weakly active carboxyl proline by replacement of their terminal carboxylic acid group with a thiol group, which is a far better group for forming complexes with metal than carboxylic acid. The introduction of thiourea and thiamide group is usually avoided since the group may produce goiter, a swelling on the neck due to the enlargement of the thyroid gland. So now we see that how the changing in the existing substituent change the biological activity of the compound. So we can make changes in the compound by replacing the one substituent of this in the structure with another substituent that is having similar physical and chemical properties, and a group that is having similar physical and chemical properties with another group or like another group, we say this group as a isoester. So these are the some example of isoesters. These group are all these groups having similar physical and chemical properties, and we can see here we are having here an example. For example, this is hypoxanthine, and if we will replace the hydroxyl group from this hypoxanthine and add a thiosulfur group here, so we will get a analog uh, uh, that we call is 6-mercaptopurane, and it is an anti-tumor drug. And if we will replace the hydrogen atom that is at the 5 position of uracil with the fluoride atom, so we will be having an anti-tumor drug that is fluorouracil. So in both these example, the synthesis of 6-mercaptopurane from its parent compound, that is hypoxanthine, and the synthesis of fluorouracil analog from its parent compound, that is uracil. We see in both the example that we get the analog that is having the same activity as the parent compound, as the uracil is an antitumor having antitumor activity, and when we replace the hydrogen atom from the 5 position of this uracil and adding the fluoride isosteric group, so this the compound that we get 5-fluorouracil, it is also an antitumor agent. And in case of the hypoxanthine, we are having hydroxyl isosteric group, and by the removal of the replacing of this hydroxyl isosteric group with thiosulfur isosteric group, we will be having, although another analog that is structurally different, but this is also having anti-tumor activity as compared to as this parent molecule is also having anti-tumor activity. So uh, sometime it is possible that the replacement of an isosteric group in the parent molecule, we get the uh, analog that is having the similar activity or same activity as its parent molecule is having. For example, if we are in for in all these both two example, the parent molecule we are having, this parent molecule will be having anti-tumor activity. We change the one substituent in this parent molecule with the other substituent, and we get the same different structure but having the same activity. And here in this case we are having the compound that is having the hydrogen atom. We replace the hydrogen atom by another atom, and we get the other compound with other compound, an analog that is having same different structure but same anti-cancer activity. So what we are doing here, we are just changing the isosteric group, one isosteric group from the other isosteric group. And what are the isosteric group? The isosteric group are those that are having similar physical and chemical properties. So because of this similar physical and chemical properties of isosteric group, what happened, the biological activity of the compound would not be changed. So due to this reason, when we replace the one isosteric group to the other isosteric group, we will be having a new analog of the parent compound with the similar activity. But this is not means apply for on the all examples. Means sometime it is also possible that we change one isosteric group from other isosteric group, but we get the analog with different biological activity. For example, here we are seeing that we are having an antipsychotic drug that is phenothiazine, and we are having a sulfur atom in the structure of this drug. That is our isosteric group. So if we will change this isosteric group with another isosteric group, that is methylene group, so we will be having another compound with the different biological activity. We are having here dibenzazepine, that is an antidepressant. So what is the conclusion of all this means example the conclusion is that you can make changes in the structure of a compound by making the replacing the substituent group that is already present in the parent molecule. What are substituents? Substituent are the atom or group that can be replaced or that can be present already in the molecule, but we can replace these atom or functional group by other group of our choice. So what is the conclusion of all these all these example, that we can make changes in the structure of a parent molecule by replacing the substituent group with the new substituent group, and this new substituent group may be isosteric group. What are isosteric group? Isosteric group are those group that are having the similar physical and chemical properties, and these isosteric group sometime change the biological activity of the parent molecule. So we will get the analog, structural analog, or the new compound that will be the having different structure, different or different, somewhat different or similar structure to the parent molecule, but will be having different biological activity of the analog. Or it may be possible that you will be you will the one you will change one isosteric group with the other isosteric group, but you get another analog that will be having different biological activity. So both thing could be happened by changing the substituent group in the structure of the molecule. You can have the a new analog with the similar biological activity as the parent molecule is having, or you will be having new analog that will be having different biological activity to the parent analog. So this was the structure activity relationship lecture, and you have to keep in your mind that what is structure activity relationship? Structure activity relationship is the relationship of the structure of a molecule with its biological activities, or structure activity relationship is the study how the biological activities of a structure can change by the changing in the structure of the molecule. And what are the parent molecule? The parent molecule is that molecule that is naive molecule. You can say that naive molecule means the molecule or the drug or the compound in that you did not make any change. So you are having a molecule that is a crude molecule or a parent molecule or a naive molecule or without any changing molecule. And if you are making any changes in the structure of that molecule, so you will be getting a new molecule that will be the analog of the parent molecule, or you can say the parent molecule as a lead molecule. A lead molecule is a that molecule that is a means with uh, actual molecule or a molecule that is not having any changes. So the molecule that is not having any changes is a lead molecule or a parent molecule. Or so when you make any changes in this parent or lead molecule, you will be getting a new analog. Uh, 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 in, you will be getting a new molecule that will be the that you can say it as an analog or the structural analog of the parent molecule. What is the structural analog? Structural analog means the new molecule will be having the similar structure with the parent molecule as the parent molecule, but having the different biological activities sometime, or sometime will be having the same biological activity. So you have to keep in your mind that structure activity relationship is a relationship of the structure of a compound with its biological activity. And how you study the structure activity relationship? You study the structure activity relationship by doing the changes in the structure of a molecule. And after doing these changes in the structure of a molecule, you will perform the biological activity of this molecule by performing different biological activities assay. And you will see how the changes in the structure influence the biological activity of the molecule. And the parent molecule is the molecule that in that you did not make any changes. And you can say this parent molecule as a lead molecule, or the molecule in that you have made any change, you will say this molecule as a structural analog or the analog of the parent molecule, or you can also say it as a derivative. And you can make the changes in the structure of a molecule by changes its shape and size, and by changes the degree of saturation and unsaturation, or by adding a double bond or removing a double bond, or by adding uh, a ring system, or by removing a ring system. So all these changes that you make in the structure of a molecule impact on the biological activity of a molecule. So this was the whole lecture of structure activity relationship. So I hope you understand this. Thank you very much, and be safe from COVID-19. Allah Hafiz.